So many times I've said that, and I'm Rich Lieberman. Hi, how you doing? Uh, I've always said that whether it's your politics, whether it's culture, whether it's whatever, I can be complimentary. I'm going to applaud and plug a show which I found to be very funny and found it, of all places, on a site that I wouldn't be around, or at least wouldn't admit to. But I still one of the seven people left who every now and then find terrestrial radio entertaining. In my case, it's just simply more convenient. When I want to hear radio in New York or Philly, Boston, what have you, mostly for sports talk, I'll go to my iPhone or I'll go to the computer. So anyway, one night, not that long ago, I'm touching the radio and uh, I chance upon KSFO, which used to be KGO, and that's a whole nother story for another time. But I hear this show called Fix California. But that's not what draws me. I hear this voice, some guy, got good pipes. They're doing some, they being his partner, John Phillips, and a guy named Randy Wang. Never heard of him, never had heard of John Phillips. And I start listening, and they're doing a story within a story. And this is what makes these guys very funny. And they're out, let's get this out of the way. They're out of LA on KABC, and they broadcast live in LA and other syndicated cities from noon to 3 p.m. local time. Here, for now, up until April, when they will come to San Francisco, uh, they put these guys on, and it's a tape from 8 to 10, excuse me, from 10 until midnight. And 10 o'clock, it's the first, and then they repeat it again, the hour. But these guys are funny. And as I said, what they do is they'll take a story from a TV news operation here or in LA or San Diego, and they play it, and they lampoon the fact that it's all the ilk and all the ill wills of San Francisco and LA and what's going on with homelessness and urban decay. And they hit on the big fire down in LA, and they play these reports within the TV stations, and they sort of lampoon the politicians behind them. They did a deal here locally about, and Leanne Melendez of KGO ABC7 did a big story, lengthy, on what's taking place at Portsmouth Square, which Phillips and Wang lampooned. They're peeing a lot in Portsmouth Square, that park right in front of that hotel there in Chinatown. And Leanne Melendez did quite a lengthy report on the guys who don't use the restroom, mostly guys, don't use the restrooms, but conveniently take their business to the bushes and all that. So they lampoon that, and it's very funny. And these guys are pretty good. I don't know who they are, where they came from. I know they're in LA, and they're going to be starting out here live. And look, this is not, it's not Shakespeare, but if you like a good laugh, I know you will laugh. And I'm endorsing these guys, and I'm very, very, very non-complimentary, as you all know. So I'm laughing, and especially on the P thing with Leanne Melendez. But anyway, these guys, they'll take a newscast, and within that newscast, you'll have a report. Again, could be something in LA, could be something in San Francisco, San Diego. What they do is they play the report, they play it back, and then they interconnect it with their own jokes and takes and humor. And for the most part, it works. And it's quite funny. They've been plugging the fact that coming on April the 2nd, get this, Cumulus KSFO is going to wipe out Sean Hannity and send him packing and put these guys on live from noon to 3. So I guess what they're going to do is they're going to take the KABC show, simulcast it, or run it in its entirety live on 810, which used to be KGO, which is now KSFO. Again, don't get me started on that. But look, these guys are funny. They do little quips. This Phillips guy is hysterical, and he's got good voice. He's got good style, technique up the yin yang. And as I said, for the most part, it works. It's not Nirvana. It's not 1,000% or even 100% or even 90% doable, but you will laugh. I laughed. That's an endorsement right there. And you have to kind of listen in. I caught it by accident, quite frankly. I'm thinking, again, fix California. So they go into all the nitty gritty about what's wrong with this state, kind of pick on Oakland, which is kind of trendy and easy to do. So, guys, on that end, be a little more creative. There's shit going on all over this state. And look, I live in Oakland, so I get the full brunt of it every now and then. But, enough of the anti-Oakland bashing. It's kind of easy to do that. But other than that, you guys are funny. And I endorse Phillips and Randy Wang.